A California man's extraordinary 378-year prison sentence has been overturned. The ruling came in a case involving sexual assault charges. This significant decision was delivered on Friday, May 23rd. The ruling was made by Superior Court Judge Janene Beronio. Judge Beronio cited substantial evidence suggesting potential fabrication by the accuser. This evidence formed the basis for her decision to vacate the lengthy sentence. The defendant, Ajay Dev, is 58 years old. He had been serving the lengthy term following his conviction. The original conviction resulted in a sentence that effectively amounted to life imprisonment. Reports indicated Dev had 76 convictions in the case. These convictions stemmed from multiple counts of sexual assault. The sheer number of counts contributed to the aggregate sentence length. Following the judge's ruling, Dev was subsequently released from custody. He was released on his own recognizance. This release signifies a dramatic turn in a case that had kept him incarcerated for over a decade. The overturning of such a severe sentence is rare. It highlights significant issues within the original trial proceedings. The judge's findings point to potential flaws that may have led to a wrongful conviction. The case now enters a new phase. The legal system must grapple with the implications of this ruling. It raises questions about the integrity of the original charges and the evidence presented. Ajay Dev's release marks a pivotal moment. After serving 16 years, he is now free, at least temporarily. His freedom hinges on future legal proceedings. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The accuser in this case is Sapna Dev. Sapna is Ajay Dev's adopted daughter. She was adopted from Nepal in 1998. The accusations against Ajay Dev were reportedly made in 2004. This was several years after her adoption. The timing of the accusations is a critical element of the judge's review. The accusations reportedly followed a breakup Sapna had with her boyfriend. This event is alleged to have been a catalyst for the charges. The judge considered this potential motive in her analysis. Sapna reportedly blamed Ajay Dev for the breakup. This alleged blame created a potential source of animosity. The judge explored whether this resentment could have influenced her actions. Sapna alleged that Dev sexually assaulted her multiple times a week. These were serious and frequent allegations. The claims described a pattern of pervasive abuse. The alleged abuse was said to have occurred over several years. This time frame spanned from shortly after her adoption until the accusations were made. The duration of the alleged abuse was central to the original charges and sentence. The defense at the original trial attempted to challenge these claims. However, the jury ultimately found Dev guilty. The severity of the sentence reflected the jury's findings on the numerous counts. The judge's recent review revisited these foundational accusations. She examined the context in which they were made. The judge sought to determine if the accusations were credible and uninfluenced by external factors. Judge Beronio's decision to overturn the sentence was based on a thorough review of the case. This review was extensive and spanned 7 years. The judge dedicated significant time to re-examining the evidence and trial record. The judge stated her belief in a substantial likelihood that Dev was innocent. This is a powerful statement from the bench. It indicates a high degree of doubt regarding the original conviction's validity. Judge Beronio found the accuser's motivations suspect. She questioned whether Sapna's reasons for making the accusations were genuine. This suspicion was rooted in evidence presented during the review. A judge highlighted contradictory evidence presented during the post-conviction proceedings. This evidence was not fully available or considered by the jury at the original trial. Its absence was deemed critical. 4 witnesses testified that Sapna admitted the accusations were false. These witnesses came forward after the original trial. Their testimony directly challenged the veracity of Sapna's claims. These witnesses stated that Sapna's admissions were driven by anger, specifically anger towards Ajay Dev following the breakup with her boyfriend. This suggested a retaliatory motive behind the charges. The witnesses also stated that Sapna's admissions were driven by a desire to remain in the United States. This introduces a potential immigration motive. The judge considered whether the accusations were a means to secure her immigration status. One witness was deemed particularly credible by the judge. This witness's testimony carried significant weight in the judge's decision. The judge found this witness's account reliable and compelling. The credible witness stated that Sapna used the charges to facilitate her return to the U.S. Sapna had reportedly left the U.S. and faced difficulties returning. The accusations may have provided a pathway back. Judge Beronio pointed to evidence of Sapna expressing affection and love for Dev and his wife. This evidence contradicted the narrative of long-term, pervasive abuse. It suggested a different relationship dynamic than the one presented at trial. This evidence dated between 1999 and 2004. This timeframe is crucial as it overlaps with the period the alleged abuse was said to have occurred. The judge found the affectionate expressions inconsistent with the abuse claims. The evidence included cards, texts, and emails. These were tangible forms of communication. They provided a documented record of Sapna's feelings towards the Devs during the relevant period. This evidence directly contradicted Sapna's claims of abuse during that same period. It presented a stark contrast between her alleged experience and her documented expressions. The judge found this contradiction highly significant. Judge Beronio concluded that the jury outcome would likely have been different if this evidence was heard. The absence of this contradictory information at the original trial was deemed prejudicial. It deprived the jury of crucial context. The judge's detailed findings underscore the importance of complete evidence presentation. They highlight how the exclusion of key information can impact a trial's outcome. The ruling serves as a case study in post-conviction review based on newly considered evidence. The judge's analysis was meticulous. She did not simply accept the new testimony at face value. She weighed it against the original trial record and other factors. Her decision reflects a deep dive into the credibility of the accuser. It moves beyond the initial conviction to question the foundation upon which it was built. The ruling is a testament to the judicial system's capacity for self-correction, albeit a lengthy process. The judge's finding of a substantial likelihood of innocence is a high bar. It required compelling evidence to overcome the original jury verdict. The combination of witness testimony and contradictory communications met this standard in her view. The potential motives of anger and immigration status were central to the judge's reasoning. She found credible evidence supporting the idea that these factors influenced the accusations. This shifts the focus from the alleged abuse to the accuser's potential motivations. The ruling does not definitively declare Dev innocent. Instead, it states there is a substantial likelihood of innocence based on evidence not fully considered before. It opens the door for a potential retrial or dismissal of charges. The judge's decision is a critical examination of the original trial's fairness. It suggests that the defense was potentially hampered by not having access to or not effectively presenting evidence that could have swayed the jury. The focus is on the process and the information available to the decision-makers. The case raises important questions about how allegations are vetted. It highlights the challenges in determining truth when motives are complex and evidence is contradictory. The judge's ruling provides a framework for understanding the potential vulnerabilities in the justice system. The 7-year review period itself is noteworthy. It indicates the complexity of the case and the judge's commitment to a thorough examination. Such lengthy reviews are not uncommon in post-conviction challenges, especially in complex cases with severe sentences. The judge's reliance on the credible witness's testimony was significant. This witness's account, combined with the documented communications, created a powerful counter-narrative to the original prosecution's case. The judge found this counter-narrative sufficiently strong to undermine the original verdict. The ruling serves as a reminder that convictions, even those resulting in lengthy sentences, are subject to review. New evidence or a reevaluation of existing evidence can lead to dramatic outcomes. This case exemplifies that principle in a profound way. The judge's analysis of the contradictory evidence was key. She meticulously compared the accuser's claims of abuse during a specific period with her documented expressions of affection during that same time. This direct conflict in evidence was highly persuasive. The conclusion that the jury outcome would likely have been different is a legal standard for granting post-conviction relief. It means the judge found a reasonable probability that, had the new evidence been presented, at least one juror would have had reasonable doubt. This is the threshold for finding prejudice. The judge's ruling is a detailed legal analysis. It dissects the evidence, assesses credibility, and applies legal standards for overturning a conviction. It is a document that will be studied by legal professionals. The case highlights the potential for wrongful convictions even in serious cases. It underscores the need for robust defense investigation and the importance of post-conviction remedies. The judge's action provides a pathway for correcting a potential injustice. The judge's decision is not a finding of fact about whether abuse occurred. It is a finding about the reliability of the evidence presented at the original trial and the impact of new evidence. The focus is on the legal process and the fairness of the conviction. The ruling emphasizes the judge's role as a gatekeeper of justice. In post-conviction proceedings, judges review whether constitutional rights were violated or if new evidence undermines the conviction's reliability. Judge Beronio fulfilled this role rigorously. The case demonstrates the potential influence of non-criminal motives, such as immigration status, on criminal proceedings. It raises awareness about how such factors can potentially be weaponized or influence testimony. This is a critical point for legal analysis and advocacy. The judge's finding that the accuser's motivations were suspect is a strong indictment. It suggests a deliberate attempt to mislead the court or jury. This aspect of the ruling has significant implications for the accuser and the original prosecution. The overturning of a 378-year sentence is inherently dramatic. It reflects the severity of the original conviction and the profound nature of the judge's finding. The length of the sentence underscores the stakes involved in this case. The judge's ruling is a complex legal document. It details the evidence reviewed, the legal standards applied, and the reasoning behind the decision. Understanding the nuances requires careful legal analysis. The case serves as a cautionary tale. It illustrates how a conviction, even one based on serious allegations and resulting in a lengthy sentence, can be revisited and potentially undone years later. This highlights the fallibility of the justice system. The judge's decision is a victory for the defense and advocacy groups. It validates their efforts to challenge the conviction. It provides hope for others seeking to overturn convictions based on new evidence or flawed original proceedings. The ruling sets the stage for future legal battles. The prosecution must now decide how to proceed. The judge's findings create a significant hurdle for any attempt to retry Dev on the original charges. Ajay Dev's attorney is Jennifer Muzis. She has been a vocal advocate for Dev. Her efforts were instrumental in bringing the evidence before Judge Beronio. Attorney Muzis emphasized Dev's clean record prior to this case. This contradicts the earlier mention of 76 convictions, which likely refers to the counts within this specific case, not prior criminal history. This distinction is important for understanding Dev's background. Attorney Muzis highlighted Dev's exemplary behavior during his 16 years of incarceration. This speaks to his character while imprisoned. It may be relevant in future legal considerations, such as bail or sentencing. A ruling has received support from advocacy groups. Organizations working on wrongful convictions and criminal justice reform have praised the decision. They see it as a positive step towards correcting injustice. Patricia Purcell, a member of an advocacy group, praised the judge. She specifically commended Judge Beronio for her meticulous examination of evidence. This praise underscores the perceived thoroughness and fairness of the judge's review. A trial-setting conference and motion hearing is scheduled. This indicates the case is not yet fully resolved. The court needs to determine the next steps following the overturned sentence. The hearing date is Friday, June 13th. This date will be critical for the future of the case. Decisions about retrial, dismissal, or further motions will likely be addressed. The future of Dev's freedom remains uncertain. While released on his own recognizance, the charges have not been dismissed. He still faces the possibility of further legal proceedings. The validity of the original charges is now uncertain. The judge's findings have cast significant doubt on the accusations. The prosecution faces a challenge in pursuing the case given the judge's ruling. The prosecution could potentially appeal Judge Beronio's ruling. An appeal would challenge the judge's legal reasoning or findings of fact. This is one possible path forward for the state. Alternatively, the prosecution could decide to dismiss the charges. Given the judge's strong findings regarding the likelihood of innocence and the issues with the accuser's credibility, pursuing a retrial might be difficult. Dismissal would end the legal proceedings against Dev. A retrial would require the prosecution to present its case again. They would need to overcome the new evidence and the judge's findings regarding the accuser's credibility. This would be a significant challenge. The defense would be able to present the evidence that was crucial to the judge's decision. This includes the testimony of the 4 witnesses and the contradictory communications. This would fundamentally change the dynamics of a new trial compared to the original. The case highlights the lengthy and complex nature of post-conviction relief. It took 7 years of review to reach this point. This demonstrates the persistence required to challenge a final judgment. The outcome of the June 13th hearing will be closely watched. It will provide clarity on the immediate future of Ajay Dev's case. The decisions made will have lasting implications. The case has drawn attention from legal professionals and the public alike. It raises fundamental questions about justice, evidence, and the potential for error in the legal system. It serves as a compelling example for study and discussion. The focus now shifts to the prosecution's response. Their decision will determine whether Dev faces further legal battles or if this chapter of his life is closed. The judge's ruling has placed the burden squarely on the state to justify continued prosecution. The case underscores the importance of advocacy in the justice system. The efforts of Dev's attorney and supporting groups were essential in bringing the new evidence to light. Their work demonstrates the impact of dedicated legal representation. The potential for immigration status to influence criminal proceedings is a significant takeaway. This aspect of the case warrants further examination by legal scholars and policymakers. It highlights a complex intersection of law and human motivation. The judge's ruling is a powerful statement about the need for truth and reliability in testimony. It emphasizes that even in cases involving serious allegations, the evidence must withstand scrutiny. The integrity of the process is paramount. The case of Ajay Dev will likely be cited in future legal arguments. It provides a precedent for challenging convictions based on evidence of accuser fabrication or contradictory information. Its impact will extend beyond this specific case. The public interest in this case reflects broader concerns about wrongful convictions and the fairness of the justice system. The dramatic overturning of a lengthy sentence captures attention and prompts reflection on how justice is administered. It resonates with audiences interested in legal analysis and true crime. The legal community will analyze Judge Beronio's written ruling in detail. The specific legal standards applied and the way she weighed the evidence will be subject to professional scrutiny. This case contributes to the ongoing discourse on criminal procedure and evidence law. The future proceedings will determine the ultimate outcome for Ajay Dev. Whether he faces a retrial, the charges are dismissed, or some other resolution is reached remains to be seen. The path forward is uncertain but critical. The case serves as a reminder that the legal process can be lengthy and arduous. From the original trial and conviction to years of appeals and post-conviction review, the pursuit of justice can take decades. Dev's 16 years of incarceration before this ruling exemplify this reality. The judge's decision is a significant development, but it is not necessarily the final word. The legal system provides avenues for further challenge and review. The case remains active until a final disposition is reached. The focus on the accuser's potential motives is a sensitive but necessary part of the legal analysis. The judge's findings require a critical examination of the source of the allegations. This is a difficult but essential aspect of determining the truth. The case highlights the challenges faced by juries when presented with complex or incomplete evidence. The judge's conclusion that the outcome would likely have been different suggests the original jury was operating without key information. This underscores the importance of full disclosure and effective defense. The story of Ajay Dev is a compelling narrative of the justice system at work, with its potential for both error and correction. It is a case that will continue to be discussed and analyzed as it moves towards its final resolution. The outcome will have profound consequences for all involved.